Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Fine light in the beautiful sea. I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star, I see, a vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive. We're like diamonds in the sky. I knew that we'd become one right away. Oh, right away. At first sight, I felt the energy of sun rays. I saw the life inside. So shine bright tonight. You and I, we're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Eye to eye, so alive. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Oh yeah. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
So, the exciting news, the new series of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And new characters, as well as some old friends back again, I believe.
Yeah, bit of both, as always, which is
That's what we like.
what we like.
And you're still having fun doing it, I guess. I mean, I get that impression watching it, but you're still enjoying being the Doctor?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, can you remember the first ever, sort of chat show that I did was with you?
I remember.
And I was like a rabbit in the headlights. I didn't quite know what had hit me. So I hope I'm not a shit tonight.
You were
really.
you were great. You were great. You were great.
Yeah.
But you, obviously, I know you were on the cusp of a big change in your life.
I think so, yeah. And it's such a significant change when you're involved in a show like that, because you go from, and I was doing plays, I was in the theatre, and then suddenly you're sort of on the cover of magazines and things, and it's quite drastic.
And you're kind of public property, more in that role than, almost any other role on TV, I think, because it's so beloved by kids, by whole families.
Yeah, it's a family show.
And you're an ambassador for that show, for that experience.
Of course, exactly. And with great power comes great responsibility. Not that I have great power, I don't. I just turn up and learn the lines and,
But you still travel on the tube, don't you? I mean,
I do. I travel on the tube every day. I mean, I wear a hat and I walk quite quickly. Yeah, because I'm a firm
when you're on the
believer.
tube, so you're walking up, you're quickly up and down the tube, so
Oh, no,
people don't...
yeah.
Because I think that I would notice that if there was someone...
I always get the end carriage. Look, I'm kind of giving my secrets away here. I always get the end carriage, but I like the walk, and I like going down the escalator, and I like to sort of travel to music.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice experience.
Yeah.
But I've seen you wearing your hat. I've seen you wear a kind of big floppy beanie hat, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I saw Matt. I was on a plane once, and Matt was on a plane. I think we were travelling out to the same event.
To Comic-Con.
For different
reasons. And we were, like,
reasons.
next to each other, weren't we?
Yeah. And Matt's there, and then Matt, at one stage, he fell asleep.
Yeah.
And I said to my wife, I'm going to wake him up with a kiss. To see how he reacts. But I resisted. How would you have enjoyed that, do you think?
I think I'd have been intimidated and then sort of encouraged.
Oh, yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Colin Baker's here.
It's very wet inside.
Doctor number 6. It's wetter out here. Doctor number 7, Sylvester.
Chris. Good to
Come
see you,
on,
mate.
nice
Good
to
to
see
see
you.
you.
How are you?
I've got a present for you. I don't need it
Thank you
anymore.
very much. Come and stand here, Sylvester. My goodness me, you brought your friends with you as well, ready for the party. We'll get them in, don't worry about that.
Indeed.
So, Sylvester, Doctor Who couldn't be more high-tech nowadays than it was in your day. Did you have trouble with the sets back then, here?
Yeah, no, well, there was. I mean, I remember once they tried to get the a Dalek to go up the stairs, and what they did was get a really big Dalek, but they didn't even build a light one, and they stuck 2 poles on the side of it, and then they had to put it on a pole going up parallel to the stairs, and they got 10 men to actually try and get the poor Dalek up the stairs. And the guy inside, I mean, he threw up halfway up. Because it was up and down all over the place.
But Colin, is this your actual coat?
That's the actual coat.
No way.
And it suits you, doesn't it?
Well, thank you very much. What are your memories of filming Doctor Who
Well,
here?
I remember running down a corridor. It was a very long, complicated shot. I had to bash a button, go in through some doors, and close the doors again. And I ran down the corridor, bashed the button, the doors opened, and I knew if I moved away from that wall, it would fall over. So I didn't go through the doors, and they said, Colin, go through the doors. I said, you won't like it if I do. And I did, and it fell over.
Well, look.
You're lucky the doors opened when I did it. You used to go up and bang into the doors.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen this year, because it's the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who this year.
It is.
Are you going to be involved in that? I know there's a secret around and nobody will tell me what it is.
Well, sorry, there was a technical fault.
The answer is they haven't told us either.
Really? Okay. But
So-
you are available.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Always available, darling. This is show business, of course. The answer is yes. Now, what's the question?
Stay with me for just a moment, if you would. 8:55 is the time. Tonight, Doctor Who returns to our screens with a new companion for the start of what the cast are calling the most ambitious series yet.
There are going to be new monsters, such as the Spoonheads and the Whispermen, and old favourites like the Cybermen. They're also making an appearance.
Later this year, the show celebrates its 50th anniversary with a special episode. As our entertainment correspondent Lisa Mazimba found out, the show's stars are keeping their lips sealed.
Yes, into space. Yes, it's bigger on the inside. No, I don't have time to talk about it.
The Doctor doing what he does best, battling mysterious alien threats together with his new companion.
Bigger on the inside. Actually bigger.
Over the years, one of the programme's greatest strengths has been turning the ordinary and familiar into the sinister and frightening. In tonight's story, it's modern-day technology that's the threat.
I think it's important to root it everywhere, the past, the future, the present. And I think, you know, what the storytelling allows you to do with the present is be really inventive. Because you can make it alien, you can make it strange, but it also adds a sort of level of humour to the whole thing, because you get Twitter and aliens in the Wi-Fi. And I think it's, you know, I love that you actually see the bike going over Westminster Bridge.
2013, of course, marks a big milestone for the programme. In November, it'll be celebrating half a century since it first began. Both Matt Smith and Jenna Louise Coleman say they're particularly honoured to be the Doctor and companion during such an important year, and that the script is one of their all-time favourites.
I read it and clapped at the end. I think it's hilarious, I think it's vast, I think it's epic, it's in 3D. I think it's going to be one of the biggest, best, boldest adventures that the Doctor's ever been on, and I think it's going to be one of the biggest moments and hopefully one of the most momentous occasions in the show's history. That's the plan. Actually, sorry, could you just ask me that again?
Could I what?
Could you just ask me that question again?
Doctor Who?
OK, just once more.
Doctor Who?
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
It's huge, it's wonderful, it's just a real privilege, and it really is. And I think the more kind of events that I go to, and you know, over the last year, the more and more I've been learning about the show and meeting people and meeting fans and finding out about the history of the show and kind of just being part of this huge kind of British heritage of what Doctor Who is. It's really special.
But before the 50th anniversary, the Doctor will, as always, be embarking on adventures in unexpected places.
I'm the Doctor. I'm in aliens in outer space. I'm 1,000 years old. I've got 2 hearts and I can't fly a plane. Can you? No.
Matt Smith insists that despite its past achievements, this is the most ambitious series yet.
The scripts and the stories that we have this year, you know, we've got submarines, we've got the interior of the TARDIS, we've got a modern adventure, we've got an alien planet. I mean, you know, yeah, we do try and get more and more ambitious, because that's the only way. The only way is up with Doctor Who. You can't look back, weirdly.
And so fans are now looking forward to what they hope will be a series of spectacular stories and an anniversary special that properly marks Doctor Who's place in television history. Lisa Mazimba, BBC News.
We're not hiding behind the sofa.
No, not yet.
Not this time.
We will be at 6:15 on BBC One and BBC One HD tonight.
We're going to take a short break from all this awarding to celebrate one of the best-loved British TV shows of all time. It is the 50th anniversary of the most famous Doctor in the country. Yep. It seems ironic then to find he's known simply as Doctor Who.
You have returned to us, Doctor.
Doctor! Please save me from monsters.
We fight like animals! We die like animals!
Doctor?
Doctor!
I promise, I can help. Doctor! Come on then, big boy. Chase me.
Is it always this dangerous?
Yeah.
It's happening again. What are they?
Cybermen.
Cybermen.
We meet again, Doctor.
Cybermen.
Doctor?
You're expecting someone else?
What's happened?
Change, my dear.
Oh, my word!
Concentrate. Now, what seems to be the problem?
What are they called, these creatures?
Primitive, but undeniably a Dalek.
A little more than a screwdriver.
What is it? A human Dalek.
A living, thinking, self-supporting creature.
That's magnificent. You say so.
I'm the Doctor, you're nuts, and I'm gonna stop you. I'm not human.
You are the Doctor! You must be exterminated!
Goodbye.
I don't think so.
One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back.
Hello? Oi, hello, Graham? This just turned up in my TARDIS. It's a face on a stick with its eye poked out, clearly some kind of terrible threat.
It's a BAFTA.
It's a BAFTA. It's a BAFTA. Beware these BAFTA creatures. They probably want to steal your face, poke out your right eye, then mount you on a miniature plinth. Do you know, I love that word, plinth.
No, Doctor, you're getting it all wrong.
No, I'm not getting it all wrong. Look at this poor fella. I ask you, what happened to the rest of this innocent gold person?
It's an award.
An award?
Yes, an award. You get it if you've been really good.
At what?
Acting.
Really?
Really?
It's weird. Right, well, it looks like an accent.
Not an accent. Nope, it's a BAFTA.
I've never seen one of these before.
Wish me luck.
The actor Matt Smith is to leave Doctor Who at the end of the year. After 4 years as the Time Lord on the BBC One show, viewers will see Smith's Doctor regenerate in the 2013 Christmas special. Well, the show marks its 50th anniversary in November with a special episode which Smith has filmed already. The 30-year-old actor said working on the show had been the most brilliant experience, as Lisa Mizimba reports.
Smith arrived in the TARDIS 3.5 years ago. It was clear it wasn't going to be easy taking over from David Tennant. But he instantly made one of television's best known and best loved parts completely his own, following effortlessly in the footsteps of his 10 predecessors.
Hello. I'm the Doctor.
His was sometimes a more quirky take on the classic role.
What in the name of sanity have you got on your head?
It's a fez. I wear a fez now. Fezzes are cool.
But he still managed to bring across the night.
Just this once. Just for the hell of it. Let me save you.
He's of course faced enemies old and new.
What are you doing here?
I am your soldier.
What? Taking the programme to new levels of success, and not just in the UK. This weekend, at an event in Sydney, specially treated scenes from the programme were projected onto buildings, attracting huge numbers of fans, an indication of how during Matt Smith's time, Doctor Who has massively increased its popularity overseas. He'll next be seen in Doctor Who's 50th anniversary special in November, which he filmed with David Tennant earlier this year. And he'll regenerate in a Christmas special, so the speculation now will be who will replace him. Lisa Mizimba, BBC News.
Where are we?
The Parliament of the Daleks.
I don't know about you, but I'm a massive Doctor Who fan. I grew up watching the Doctor transfixed as he travelled around the universe, escaping from all the weird and wonderful creatures. A lot's changed since then. Different Doctors have come and gone, but I think it's fair to say that the show gets better and better and looks more and more stunning. And a lot of that is due to computer programming.
Hi, I'm Joey. Hi, I'm Effie.
So me and my two lucky hackers, Effie and Joey, who are both Doctor Who crazy, have both come to BBC Television Centre to find out where it all began. Back in the 1960s, when Doctor Who started, they used to make all these props by hand. I mean, they still make some of the props by hand now, but it's all a bit time-consuming. So how else do you think they make them?
Using computers, graphics and stuff.
Should we go and find out?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go then.
The next stop is the visual effects studio. There are many elements that go into making Doctor Who such an amazing, magical show. But some of it isn't possible with just actors and props.
So guys, we're here with Kat, and guess what? She works on Doctor Who.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Do you actually do the episodes and stuff like that?
Yeah, the Milk works on a lot of the Doctor Who episodes.
Kat shows the children how computers are used to produce really exciting visual effects for the series.
So let's have a look at this Dalek. This is one Dalek by itself, but yeah, he looks lonely. So how do you think we could make a bunch more Daleks?
Copy and paste.
Well, we could do that, but it would take a really, really long time. So instead, we're going to be lazy and use some programming. And I've got this little bit of script here, and I can run that to make a set of Daleks, 6 rows with 6 in each row.
So with this piece of code, we can create 6 rows of 6 Daleks from the one original Dalek. The code tells us that for each row and for every position within the row, make 1 Dalek. Then move the Dalek into position.
So if I just run that,
Wow.
That's like Daleks.
we have a little army of Daleks.
When I watched Doctor Who as a kid, often from behind the sofa, you could only ever have a few Daleks on screen because they were actual props. But here we're creating whole armies with a little computer code. It's terrifying. What's even more amazing is that every single Dalek in the army can behave independently. Using a piece of code called the RAND command, we can instruct each Dalek to move its eye stalk, head and body randomly.
So can we all have a go at changing the code?
Yeah, sure. We could make them look in the same direction if you like.
Yeah, that would look cool.
So let's change the head rotate, because that's which direction they're looking in. So instead of this, which picks a random number, what we're going to do is we can put in just a number that you choose. So let's give them a number.
I don't know.
Pick a number.
By changing the code, we replace the RAND command with a set number, and hey presto, you have an army of Daleks going in one direction.
And they're all looking in the same, exactly the same way.
So you won't want to be facing them.
But that's exactly what we're going to do, as visual effects artist Rose puts our acting skills to the test. Right, Rose? What's our motivation?
In this scene, it's the Dalek Parliament. So you're all surrounded by Daleks, and I want you to look like kind of scared. Brilliant. Yeah, that works, like that. Brilliant. And action.
When we want to mix actors with computer-generated effects, you need to film them against a green screen, so you can replace the background with something you've designed yourself.
They're everywhere. What are you going to do? All right, now stand up, stand up. Cool, now look really brave. You know, you're not going to be scared of these guys. You know, the doctor's going to come along and save you in a bit.
OK, that's a wrap. Now it's back to the edit to upload and review the footage.
You look great, don't you? Yeah.
Your face is all blurred out.
Wow, look at you guys.
It's hilarious.
So, shall we put you guys in this? All right. So, I'm going to use the computer here to select all of the green and get rid of it. You ready?
Yep.
It's going to look really cool. There it goes, see?
Is this how they filmed Doctor Who then?
Yeah, this is how all of the green screen shots are done on Doctor Who, using this kind of method.
That's so cool. How long does it take to film an episode?
It depends on the episode. It can be anywhere between a few weeks or a couple of months. Depends how many creatures are in it.
Yeah.
Now I can put you on top of the footage I have here, so that you'll be sitting in the Dalek Parliament. So here we go.
Whoa.
That's you guys there.
So
Rose has used a graphics package to superimpose us into the shot. The computer runs a program which has removed all the green pixels from the footage and then merged the video with the computer-generated images. Hollywood, eat your heart out. Here comes the finished shot, the three of us transported into the Dalek Parliament.
Here I am!
And here's the Doctor on the same set.
Remember next time when you watch all the monsters on Doctor Who, that lots of them were generated by computers and computer code was used to make them move around and look scary.
And it's all done by artists and coders sitting around computers like these.
Talking of drama, the Prince of Wales has come face-to-face with the Daleks. He met Doctor Who's most famous foe on a visit to the BBC studios in Cardiff. He was even given a tour of the TARDIS by the Time Lord himself, otherwise known as Matt Smith. Our royal correspondent Nicholas Witchell watched on.
He's been around for decades and he's always doing his bit to save the world. So it might be said that the Time Lord from Gallifrey, who we know as Doctor Who, has qualities in common with the Royal Prince from Windsor, who we know as Prince Charles. To mark the 50th anniversary of the programme, the Prince and the Duchess of Cornwall were given a guided tour of the TARDIS by its current occupants, the actors Matt Smith and Jenna Louise Coleman. Then, breaking briefly through the time and space continuum, there was a face-to-face encounter with the Doctor's #1 enemy.
Emergency! What are you doing on our planet?
It was one of those moments when Charles could say what one suspects he has frequently thought, certainly in respect of us, the media.
Exterminate! 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 That's very good.
There was a close encounter with a Cyberman. Memories of childhood were evidently being stirred.
He said he first watched it when he was 15, and I think he's kept in touch with it since. So he knew about the world of Who, definitely.
So
yeah.
do you think he has the qualities of a Time Lord?
Well, who knows? He would have to audition like anyone else.
One thing's for sure, if he did want the job, which of course is soon to become vacant, he'd need to show his wife how to use a sonic screwdriver. Charles, it turned out, was a natural at it. Memo to BBC bosses. The new Doctor Who may have been found. Nicholas Witchell, BBC News, at the Doctor Who studios in Cardiff.
Welcome to the Royal Albert Hall in London, where tomorrow I'm going to be playing a concert. Not just any concert, though, the Doctor Who Prom. Let me give you a few facts and figures. The Royal Albert Hall holds 5,000 people. The Prom, which is based here every single year, is the biggest classical music festival in the world. The Doctor Who Prom sold out in record time. This is a trombone. I've been playing it for 10 weeks. How scared am I on a scale of 1 to 10? 20. Let me do that one more time. I've been trying to practice as much as I can, even in the Blue Peter office, but this challenge has got me worried.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll take. Do you want to take it a bit slower?
No,
Okay.
I don't want to do it. I think what we've got to do here is be honest about the fact that it's only 6 days away, and the orchestra that I'm playing with are incredibly talented, and I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb if I don't get this right. And I have very little time to practice before then. So honestly, I have no idea how it's going to turn out. Seeking some reassurance, I've come to meet the man who'll be in charge of the orchestra on the day, conductor Ben Foster.
The sound will blend and you won't stick out, I'm sure. Not unless you play completely the wrong note. So maybe...
Which is quite likely.
The thing about Doctor Who theme is that everybody knows it, so I can understand why you're a little worried about that.
Yeah.
And there are some pretty featured moments for the trombone in this.
Yeah, not helping, Ben.
Well, listen, the best thing I would say about an orchestra is teamwork. So you'll be in a team of 4 trombonists. The lead trombone's a lovely guy, and he'll really help you, and I think he'll support you when you're playing together. He'll give you a nod.
The man Ben is talking about is this guy, Donal. He's first trombone and kind of my team captain for the concert.
Well, don't get intimidated by the sheer size of the place. I mean, look at this arena. It's wonderful.
It's stunning, isn't it?
It's absolutely wonderful. We'll go on rehearse, and I'll talk you through it and help you through it. But always remember that these things take quite a lot of air. Don't try too hard with your facial muscles and tense everything up, but put plenty of air through it. And that's the key to keeping everything flowing and the quality of sound on these things.
OK. If we head down for my first ever rehearsal in the Royal Albert Hall, wish me luck and we'll see how it goes. My lips are tense and I hit a few wrong notes, but the feeling of playing with an orchestra is unbelievable. I'm only playing in the finale, so whilst the orchestra carry on rehearsing, there's time for me to explore this amazing building. This is called the Gallery. It's the very top level in the concert hall. It's just an amazing view of what is going on down below you. And tomorrow, I'm going to be down there as one of those players. I can't believe I'm saying this. As one of those trombone players. It's the day of the concert. Everything's in place and everyone's ready. Well, nearly everyone. I've had to find a room miles away from everybody to practice because I'm doing everyone's head in. In my tux and tails, I look the part, but my nerves are shredded. It feels like I'm waiting for an eternity. And then...
Barney Harwood, this is your call to the stage for the Doctor Who theme.
It doesn't help that at the moment you've got a choir singing like an epic movie. It's almost like I'm stepping out into the light to face the lions. That's what's going on in my head. I'm genuinely the most nervous I've been for a long time. The last time I was this nervous, I haven't been this nervous before. And I'm very conscious that I need the loo. And I don't have time to go. This is it. Deep breath, Harwood. Here we go.
Now, in one of the biggest secrets in showbiz, fans of Doctor Who will learn tonight who has been chosen as the 12th actor to take on the role of the Time Lord. All will be revealed on BBC One at 7 o'clock. Let's go to Salford and speak to Tom Spilsbury. He's the editor of Doctor Who magazine. I mean, that's the most interesting thing, actually, Tom, isn't it? I mean, how this has been kept secret. 10 people know, and it hasn't leaked out yet.
Yeah.
Or do you know?
Well, I don't know. I kind of don't want to know, because if I was told I'd be a security risk. I guess actually the part of the reason for doing this live is because I would guess that they've only really just finalised it all. So they want to make this live announcement while it's still secret, because otherwise they certainly couldn't keep it secret till Christmas. But it is exciting for that.
Who would you like it to be? I mean, would you like it to be a woman?
I would like it to be a really good actor, and I think there are plenty of really good female actors who could do it. So, I'm going to absolutely sit on the fence here and say that whoever it is, I'm sure will be a brilliant doctor. But you know, because the people who are making these decisions obviously are really good at their jobs, and they've got it right the last few times. So I don't see why they shouldn't this time.
Well, look, we don't want you to sit on the fence. Certainly not at this time in the morning when we've got such a big announcement to come. Just talk us through the people who are the favourites at the moment, because it's Peter Capaldi, isn't it? I think some of the bookmakers have actually closed the book on him now.
Yeah, well, obviously a lot of people are betting on him. Whether that means anything, I don't know. Peter Capaldi is right up there, but also I've seen Daniel Rigby's on the list, Ben Daniels, Olivia Colman. BBC Breakfast was telling me Olivia Colman's got quite good odds. So if you like a female doctor, then maybe it'll be her.
And tweeting last night, somebody suggested the Hoff.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he'd be an interesting one. Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, so many of these doctors. I mean, all these doctors have been different, haven't they? I mean, looking ahead, what does the new doctor need to have? I mean, what has he or she got to encompass to actually keep those new generations of fans engrossed in this series?
You need to do two different things, which are to put your own stamp on it and do it your own way. But you also need to believably be the same character. So it's kind of almost contradictory in a way, that you want to actually believe that when Matt Smith changes into whoever it is, that it's literally that same character that's just had their body completely change. But in so many ways it's different. So you need to have a good sense of comedy, but you also need to be great at those intense dramatic moments, you know, when you're facing the Daleks or whatever monster it might be. It's making, like any acting job, making it believable to the audience. So I think it's probably like any other.
Okay, and one word, who's been the best one so far?
Oh, I couldn't say who's been the best. I grew up watching Tom Baker, so he's kind of my doctor. But I've genuinely loved them all.
OK, Tom, well, you've kept your secret if you had it. Thank you very much indeed.
They are faces that have helped to define generations, the various incarnations of Doctor Who. TV viewers have cheered or perhaps peered from behind the sofa as they battle with Daleks and Cybermen. Well, tonight, the Time Lord's 11th regeneration has been revealed. He'll be taking over, of course, from Matt Smith, who's hanging up his sonic screwdriver. So let's take you to Lizo Mazimba, who can announce then the new Doctor. Lizo.
Yes, it's been something fans have been desperate to discover ever since Matt Smith announced he was leaving the show in June. And in a first for the programme, the identity of the 12th Doctor was announced live here in the studio in front of an audience of specially invited fans.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the end.
The show's host, Zoe Ball, gave the news so many have been waiting. Peter Capaldi will be seen as a brave choice. He's 25 years older than the current Doctor, Matt Smith, and is, of course, best known for a very different role, the foul-mouthed spin doctor Malcolm Tucker in The Thick of It.
I've got more on my plate than a spinster at a wedding. That wasn't a reference to your daughter, by the way, Andrew.
He's a lifelong fan of the show. When he was 15, the Radio Times published a letter he'd written praising the programme. And 5 years ago, he went on to appear in it, performing opposite the 10th Doctor, David Tennant.
Come with me.
An invitation that has now taken on an even greater significance as he prepares for the challenge of taking on a part that's not like any he's played in the past and which carries a greater weight of expectation than anything he's done before. Of course, this is a busy year for the programme, celebrating its 50th anniversary. Then, 2014, it'll be Peter Capaldi's chance to take over the controls of the TARDIS.
6:52 now. They've been missing for 45 years until an astonishing discovery. 9 episodes of Doctor Who, which haven't been seen since they were originally broadcast, have been tracked down to a dusty shelf in a warehouse in Nigeria.
They have now been restored, which means that some of the pictures you're about to see are being shown on television for the first time since 1967. Here's our entertainment correspondent, Lizo Mazimba.
A story not seen since it was first broadcast in 1968.
We've been here so long.
Yes, of course we will, Victoria. You see, whatever's holding us must let go sometime. Doctor, the scanner is clearing.
The BBC destroyed the original transmission tapes of a huge number of early episodes in the 60s and 70s, but now 9, featuring the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton, have been found. Fraser Hines and Deborah Watling played Troughton's companions.
When I first saw it today on the big screen after 45 years, it was quite emotional. But then I was riveted.
After about 5 minutes, I thought, actually, I haven't seen that story since it went out live. 45 years ago, that was quite scary.
Up until now, 106 episodes were thought to be lost. This haul of 9 represents the single biggest discovery of previously missing episodes in the last 25 years. They were found by a man called Philip Morris, an expert in tracking down missing TV shows anywhere in the world. He uncovered these episodes in a city in Nigeria.
We were found at a TV station in Jos, just sitting on the shelf, which I can remember now, seeing a piece of masking tape. That said Doctor Who on it, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Pull the cans down. I read the story codes, instantly, of course, recognised what the stories were, The Web of Fear and The Enemy of the World, and realised they were missing from the BBC's archive.
As it is, the films weren't in the best of shape after sitting forgotten in cans for 40 years. They were covered in dust, dirt and scratches, as well as being extremely fragile.
You have to go through it very carefully, repairing all of those problems, taking away as much of the dirt as possible before you're in a position to be able to put it onto a telecine machine, transfer it in high definition to give us the data files we need for the digital restoration.
As you can see on the left, we've got the unrestored version. It's grainy, it's got these marks on it, videotape faults, but on the right we have the actual restored version. So we're always trying to get the optimum quality out of the materials for DVD or broadcast use.
Which side is good? Which side is bad?
At the moment, there are no plans for the BBC to broadcast the newly found stories, but fans are now able to pay to download them. And welcome as these discoveries are, there are 97 episodes featuring the first 2 Doctors still missing. But this will have given new hope to many that there are more episodes out there that might one day come back to the broadcaster who originally created them. Lizo Mazimba, BBC News.
He spent nearly a millennium travelling light years from home, but now the Doctor's reached a rather special milestone, for us at least, half a century on our TV screens.
A special ceremony will take place to celebrate Doctor Who at Buckingham Palace this evening. It's the first in a series of events this week leading up to the 50th anniversary special episode on Saturday.
So our entertainment correspondent Lizo Mazimba's taken a special look behind the special scenes.
It's a story viewers have been anticipating for years. And as such a significant celebration of Doctor Who, a few things had to be included. There's aliens, a companion, along with a Time Lord. Or 2. Or 3.
I'm looking for the Doctor.
Well, you've certainly come to the right place.
This is the episode people have been talking about for so long.
Yeah, well, it's a great privilege. It's a thrill, but also it's been really thrilling to make. I think there's something sort of extraordinary about the Doctor's meeting, which is just great fun to act and be part of, and you know, and to be the sort of incumbent one when it's 50, and to be celebrating it with Dave and Johnny and Jenna and everyone. It's just, yeah, it's gold, man.
For its golden anniversary, the show is welcoming back David Tennant's 10th Doctor, last seen almost 4 years ago.
Whatever you've got planned, forget it. I'm the Doctor. I'm 904 years old. I'm from the planet Gallifrey in the constellation of Castorberus. I am the oncoming storm, the bringer of darkness, and you are basically just a rabbit, aren't you?
You know, it's been a few years, and there's a lot of different people here now, and there's a different TARDIS and another Doctor and all that. So it was sort of completely different and yet weirdly familiar. But lovely to be back.
Was it a hard decision?
No, not really. I mean, if the call comes to come and celebrate Doctor Who's 50th anniversary, it would be churlish, I think, to turn it down.
Joining them is veteran actor John Hurt as another incarnation of the Time Lord. He says he jumped at the opportunity to take part.
This has all the makings of your lucky day.
Well, it's irresistible in a sense, isn't it? You know, I just thought the inquiry came in. I thought, oh, yes, I'll have to have a go at that. I've never done anything like this before, actually. So it's very it's a first, and it's interesting. And the boys are really, really good at it too. It's wonderful watching them doing it.
Perhaps the luckiest person on set is companion Clara, played by Jenna Coleman. First she met Matt Smith's doctor, then she met John Hurt's. Now another's been added to the mix. Come on, who's your favourite?
Oh, you can't do that to me. Are you kidding? They're really close. Look, see? I can't possibly choose. I'm spoilt for choice right now. It's more kind of a lot of fun because instead of having that, it's kind of like the inside the doctor's head, what it would be like, and him kind of arguing with himself. So it's quite funny because obviously there's a familiarity, even though she's never met the 10th Doctor there, because she knows the Doctor. So it's kind of there's just a lot of possibilities to explore.
And action!
The full details of the plot are still under wraps, but predictably, expectations for this particular adventure are understandably high.
Thank you, Kat.
Of course, because of the interest in this story, it has a difficult balancing act. It has to entertain occasional viewers watching because of the special nature of the episode, while at the same time satisfying long-term fans. They especially will want it to pay homage to and make specific reference to the show's 50-year history.
Great men are forged in fire.
And that's what the Doctor Who team is promising. An episode that celebrates the show's past, as well as looking to the series' future. Lizo Mazimba, BBC News.
Doctor Who fans across the world watched the show's 50th anniversary episode last night. The Day of the Doctor, it was called. There has been praise for the episode, with some describing it as epic and phenomenal. The show was broadcast in more than 90 countries at the same time as it aired on BBC One. It featured 3 Doctors, Matt Smith, David Tennant and John Hurt. Well, with me now is the actor Toby Hadoke, who is a big Doctor Who fan, to put it mildly, do shows based on Doctor Who, so you're an obsessive. Well,
yes.
Well, that's fine. So are a lot of other people. What did you think of last night's show?
I loved it. Isn't the world a silly place? You've just been talking about all the horrors of the world, and now you've got me on to talk about a man who travels through space and time in a police box that's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. But I think that's the key to Doctor Who, and last night was no exception. It says the world, the universe is big and scary and terrible, but if you hold my hand, it's also very enjoyable, and all the scary stuff is taken away if you have a sense of fun and a sense of inquisitiveness and a sense of adventure. And it had all of those things. It had some great jokes in it, you know.
Now, as a star vehicle, it was extraordinary, wasn't it? I mean, there was all these amazing people, former Doctors and others as well. I think we've got some pictures of John Hurt and David Tennant and Matt Smith together. Maybe we can see them. Not sure whether we can or not. But the point is bringing all these people together. Quite extraordinary.
Yeah, you have to be very careful because there are Doctor Who fans like me who know the name of every single actor that's ever been in Doctor Who, and there are casual viewers. And the minute you lose the casual viewer, you've held a party that not everybody's invited to. And the thing about Doctor Who is that it is actually a show that appeals to the outsider in all of us. It gets you when you're a kid, when the playground is the scariest place imaginable, but also the place where you can have the most fun. And I think Doctor Who's key is inclusivity, and making the outsider feel that, you know, if you're a kid that doesn't dress right, if you're a kid who feels like an outsider, or Doctor Who's got a big gay following, or if you're a kid who's intellectual and not very good at sport, Doctor Who's there going, come along for the ride with me, because I'm a bit like that and I save the universe. So yes, it was good fun, but I think the casual viewer wouldn't have been alienated because it had fun and adventure and all those things as well.
I think I spotted Tom Baker as well.
No, that made I'm a 39-year-old man and I cry. I mean, I'm a grown-up, and I genuinely got a rush of nostalgia there. Nostalgia is very powerful because it takes us back to you know, when sitting in front of a log fire, boiled eggs and soldiers, watching Doctor Who in the late 70s.
Just getting some figures in here. Apparently it was watched by, this is on BBC One, of course. There were these many other countries as well, but on BBC One, 10.2 million people. But it was beaten by Strictly Come Dancing, apparently. A few more people watched that.
But that's right. I mean, still an enormous amount of viewers. And the thing is, we're talking about a programme that is science fiction is not a language that speaks to everybody. And I can understand people who are alienated, for want of a better word, by science fiction because it's not their thing. But the fact that Doctor Who shouldn't work, it's a really silly idea. But it's big. It's, you know, it's bestrode the cathode ray for 50 years, not by accident, because I think we love it because it's part of our British culture. And the reason it's popular abroad is because it's not been American. Americans love it because it's British. So, you know, long may he continue.
We are seeing it there. It does look pretty silly, I have to say, but obviously enormously popular. Toby Haydock, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Kidneys! I've got new kidneys! I don't like the colour.
Of your kidneys. What's happening?
We're probably crashing. Oh!
It's a what?
Stay calm. Just one question. Do you happen to know how to fly this thing?